guys, welcome to another episode of Ouch My Money. I am the Leasehold host for today and every other day also. Okay, so today is another episode, and just now we were discussing what to say, and we have something very, I would say it's very close to Singaporeans' hearts. So later on we will visit that topic. Okay, let's see who is ready to come on. Who is ready to come on? Junho!
Hello.
Hello. How are you today?
Okay. I hope I don't come nonsense. Okay,
No, but you're not drinking Malibu today, so no nonsense.
No Malibu.
Oh, who's that? Afiq! You're in the show. How do you feel about it, Afiq being in the show? Is that a surprise?
I feel like I should show something. There should be something to show for this. There should
What
be
do you
something
want
to
to
show
show?
after all
Are you
this.
going to take off your shirt? Is that what you're going to show? Oh, somebody has saved me from this X-rated display.
You're right.
It's Douglas, what are you looking at?
We're staring at his blueprint of a Millennium Falcon.
Yeah lah. Terrible. Actually, it's quite nice, huh?
A blueprint.
Blueprint.
It is.
Blueprint.
I imagine living the Millennium Falcon.
Ooh, hi Rachel.
Yeah. Hello.
Okay, I'm busy sharing. Okay. Right. So just now I was telling the viewers that we were discussing about what we are going to talk about today, and we are going to talk about a topic that is very close to Singaporeans' hearts. Do you want to tell your story, Rachel?
Oh yeah,
Not
yeah.
story lah.
Yeah, let me share with you guys what I did the other day. The other day, some of us, we were talking about that 99-year stuff, that 99-year leasehold property stuff. So after that discussion, what I really did was I went to the website and I Googled and find out which year my property was built, to make sure that it actually, and I was released to find that it actually outlived me. So that was the impact of that conversation, which we are bringing to today's show as well.
Yes, that's right. Our favorite 99-year-old lease. The one that all Singaporeans are familiar with.
Yeah, but this saga was actually this news article or whatever, this conversational topic was really the 99-year lease property in question was actually private property, right? Yeah, so it was actual private property, and I know there's been some news or there's been some conversations going on elsewhere about how HDB after 99 years will lose its value, and actually it is not just HDB that would experience that, but all properties, regardless of whether it's HDB or not. And actually, I was also having a conversation with Junho that HDB actually has better potential than private property has.
Really? How come?
Yeah, because
In what sense?
because we need to understand, okay, the intent and objective of what HDB is for, okay, which is to provide affordable housing for all Singaporeans. Okay, so that is the objective for HDB. Okay, so the government is compelled to take care of people who have invested or live in HDB. And so far cases have always been the HDBs that are getting close to the expiry lease. The occupants have been given options to upgrade or move to neighboring estates, or was it maybe Chunho would be in a better position to talk about that.
Yeah. Okay. While the government did say that this is called a selective en bloc, what do you call it, scheme, SERS, SERS, selective en bloc redevelopment scheme. This scheme, while the government did say that it is not for every matured or areas, it is selective. But so far, the government have actually redeveloped many HDB areas. But when they redevelop that, took away and tore down the old buildings, they always give an options to the previous HDB dwellers to move somewhere else. And they will say, okay, we have this other place. You can buy a similar unit at nominal fee, or you can upgrade at a nominal fee to that place. And usually when they move over, the place is newer because it's when they will build a new place and start all fresh again at another leasehold. And you buy over, and then you live in there for 5 years. You actually can sell it, and most of them, the price double. Like I got friends who actually used to stay in Zion Road when the whole HDB area was under SERS. People will offer a unit in Havelock Road. And most of them moved over, and you have options to upgrade your unit. And once you upgrade, they at most based on market value, you can buy it, and then that time you may be $300, 300K. Okay, or I don't know how much you pay up if you want to upgrade to a 4-room. But now the 4-room and 5-room flat in Havelock area is 800 plus K. So if they sell, they just double. So normally the government don't leave you in the lurch. And you have to imagine the government built affordable housing to have Singaporeans be able to own a house, a home. And they ask you, use a CPF, you can buy a home, please buy a home, use a CPF, you can fund it with your CPF. And then Singaporeans work so hard, put money into CPF, fund it with CPF, and then after that the government say, okay, I'm going to take the lease back, and then sorry, bye-bye, I also want to take away all your money. You know how scary that would sound to all Singaporeans, even though it is going to be one selected group that is going to happen. I tell you, over 80% of Singaporeans stay in HDB. The whole 80% of Singaporeans will be in shock. I tell you, the uprising, the social turmoil that is going to come out, I cannot imagine. And then sometime down the road, I don't know what's going to happen to the election.
So the probability of that happening is probably very low. So with that in mind, so if the intention of buying a property is to maybe pass from one generation to another or for security reasons, then probably HDB is a good buy.
I think that's where Douglas is coming from.
Yeah, because if you the government has no concern about private property because it's none of their business technically.
Yes,
Okay,
and private property is a lot of private property is open to foreigners to buy. It is not no. It is not like HDB where it is like only only Singaporeans and PR can buy, right?
Can.
Let me get the facts. Yeah.
Can.
It's not
under
limited.
certain circumstances.
Yeah. So this is the privilege. Affordable housing is the privilege for Singaporeans, for citizens, not private property.
Yeah. So the thing is, 99 years, at the end of the lease expire. That's it. It's no longer, it no longer belongs to whoever because lease expired.
The government takes back.
Yeah.
I know, but we were just talking about it that Singaporeans, I mean, logically, when you sign the paper, you know it's 99-year lease. But deep in our hearts, we have faith that the government will take care of us. I think that's the reason
Yeah.
why Chunho says if, let's say, the government does follow the letter that we sign at the end of 99 years, they take back the housing, we will be in shock. Singaporeans will be in shock. Then we will lose faith in our government and we will lose faith in the 99-year
Yeah,
lease.
no. So that's why for HDB, that's why for HDB, it is unlikely. It is unlikely to happen. Okay, and maybe that's also why it's considered leased, okay, and not owned. Okay, as compared to private property where is your problem, it's really your problem. It's hands off already. The government has nothing to do with it. You put money in it, okay, so you deal with it. Okay, and
Yeah.
99 years. So 99 years is not a long time.
It's not, and
It's long enough for one person.
It's long enough
for one generation.
Yeah, so don't expect that property to be passed on to the second generation or the third.
That's why people are doing what's that called, freehold, is it?
Yeah, but freehold properties are also becoming very scarce.
Very scarce. Okay, I'm going to tell you how Indonesians used to like to buy properties in Singapore, and most of the time Indonesians will buy freehold because 99 year
Doesn't appeal to them.
because Indonesians, the rich Indonesians, are buying property in Singapore so that they can pass on generation to generation. That's how the rich Indonesians look at it. Okay, they look at the assets from a generation's perspective. They need to pass it on.
Yeah.
So they will buy freehold. So when freehold becomes so scarce, really, the next one that they bought is 999 year. But even 999 year now are scarce. Most
Do
of
we
the
have?
There are.
They
Yes.
are. But not many. I don't think government release 999 anymore.
I don't think any new releases are. I think most new releases are 99.
99.
Yeah, because the government wants to have control of the land or redevelopment, urban planning, as and when they need. Otherwise, 999, when the government say, okay, I want to take it back, they have to compensate, no? They have to pay back the market value of whatever it is. And that's a cost. So if that's the case, why do I release land like 99 year leasehold, and then when the 99 leasehold, I take it back, bye-bye, too bad. I mean, they don't have to pay back.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, private residential property used to be, and I use the word used to be, an investment class instrument. Okay, but then the thing about investments or property being investment really depends. Okay, really depends on a demand and supply situation. Okay, in land scarce Singapore, if there is growing demand, like in the mid 2000s, and because private residential property is available to foreigners, okay, and we had a lot of foreigners coming in order to boost our economy post SARS, that created a huge boost for private residential properties. Okay, and that created a certain belief that private residential property is a good investment. Okay, but that was the situation then. I've also recently heard from people that there are new private property launches that are sold out. Okay, that are sold out at record high prices. Okay, and we cannot really understand why that's happening, especially when the world is in its current state, and we know that the economy is not doing well. And the only thing that occurs to me is people are hanging on to an old belief about property being a good investment when the environment has already changed. It's easy to get into property as an investment. It's very easy. You just pay money. Okay, if you have enough money right now, you pay money, you own that property. Okay, it's no rocket science. There is no barrier to entry. There's no special pass that you need. There's no permission that you need to get. Okay, anybody with enough money at this point in time, pay the down payment, you own the property. That's easy. Okay. The challenge is what happens after that, because buying a piece of property is not it's like a marriage, you know. Okay, so it's not, you don't just propose and get married. There's the maintenance after that. There's the financial commitment. And and if it's based on a hope, okay, that prices will continue to go up when there is no demand situation. Okay, then that's what I call magical thinking. And then
Then you can divorce the property.
you can, okay, but so there's a consequence. So
Yeah,
there's a
I will
consequence.
tell you what happens when you divorce the property. And
You
this
get
is
any money?
this is actually what happened in SARS. This is actually what happened in SARS. People left, the expat left Singapore. When SARS happened, expat left Singapore. And because expat left Singapore, there's no rental demand. So the rental income fell. And when rental income fell, people cannot support the mortgage. So people divorced the private property. So private property prices plunged. It plunged. And it didn't plunge in 2003 when SARS happened. It bottomed in 2005. It took some time because it took a gradual, because people will hang on hopefully. But when the economy is bad, everything is bad, you can hang on only so much. Finally, you get burned and you say, I had to let go because I really have no source of income to support it anymore. You will let go. And when you let go, it keeps dropping and it keeps dropping and it keeps dropping. And at one point, I went to buy my first, in 2005, I bought my HDB. In 2005, Douglas bought his 99-year leasehold private property. And then he asked me, hey, there's another unit next to his, very big unit, 2,000 square foot. Do you want to buy? Then he told me, it's actually cheaper than a HDB. So private property per square foot wise can even be cheaper than HDB when the prices fall. I bought my HDB with about $300 per square foot. How much did you buy your private property?
250.
Same? Per square
250.
foot. Cheaper than HDB, both 99-year.
Yeah, but I think Douglas's one you need to pay a lot more upfront because there's many more square feet.
It was
Right.
only it was only $500,000.
I see.
It was so cheap.
And no. You see, then okay. Remember this 2005, financing was up to 90%. Okay, and you could utilize CPF for a lot of the down payments and everything. So there was actually very very little cash upfront required.
And the thing is, eventually the property prices went back up because it bottomed in 2005, because in late 2005, the government confirmed that they are going to bring the IRs in. And with the IRs, population is going to increase because they're going to bring in workers, they're going to bring in expats, they're going to bring a lot of things. So the government created demand for housing. So the demand can be created artificially if policies are in place to attract demand in.
Okay, that's not artificial, it's boosted.
It's boosted,
Real.
but at the moment, I don't see any plans to boost population increase in Singapore such that there's demand for housing. Yeah, the government did increase the technology pass. In January 2001, they're going to have, you can start applying for 500 pieces of the
But
technology.
do you guys read about that? The
Yeah.
tech pass?
Which part?
Rachel, the
Read
tech
about?
pass, the new employment pass called the tech pass, that's being
No.
released in January for a special group of people to come into Singapore.
I read the headline for the article.
Yeah. So the tech pass, so there are only 500, right? You know, there are only 500.
That's in
500.
January 1st.
Yeah. Okay. So there are 500 tech pass to encourage foreigners to come into Singapore. It's like employment pass, except it's a special category for tech. And the requirement, okay, one of the requirements is to have a minimum of $250,000?
No. You have to be
Yeah,
earning
income, right? Yeah.
more than $20,000 a month.
Yeah.
What?
So income. So that
Rupiah.
means
Your
before
monthly
coming,
income.
before coming into Singapore, your income must exceed $20,000, or you need to have
Or
run a tech company up to don't know how many million of dollars
yeah,
of revenue. Okay, in order to qualify for this 500 tech passes to be in Singapore.
no. To be specific, just so that people are clear, there is three requirements. You just need to meet two of the three requirements. One of them is your income, monthly income need to be $20,000 a month for the past, I don't know how many period lah. There's a period,
Mm.
or you have been running how many? I mean, the company capitalizations is how many thousands, millions? I don't know. I can't remember the number. Company lah that you have been running for the past 5 years, or that particular technology company has how many users, active users? I think 100,000. Is it
Mm.
100,000
Per
active
month.
users per month? So if you can meet two of these three requirements, you are eligible to the tech pass. And if you look at the requirements, these are very specialized requirements. And this person is people can come in with so much money and all those stuff.
Yes, they are so rich. Yuan Chang
They're
says
gonna,
annual income USD 200K.
Yeah.
yeah,
So the
but
It's
point
very
is,
strategic. It's very strategic. They wanted to bring this group of
it
people
is.
so that they can create employment, man.
It is. But the thing is, unlike 2005, when they were bringing in tens of, no, not even tens, millions of people. Okay, more than,
Now it's
because
only 500.
yeah. So the numbers are not enough to create a demand for property.
yeah, because the thing is that they can only bring in the expertise because otherwise the Singaporeans are going to complain. They're going to bring in the expertise. So this expertise can also teach. And then they will teach and upgrade Singaporeans so that the Singaporeans will get the jobs. That's the intent. And then if Singaporeans getting the job, there's no increase in population because it's the same people that's
Yeah.
already in Singapore.
So there is no increase. There is not going to be a boost in the population. Okay, or there's not going to be a boost in in the
The
fact
general
it
property
creates
market
demand for
lah.
property. Yeah.
Because
Okay.
I'm just thinking these 500 people, right? Yeah, they
So
probably
500
like
people in January. I don't know whether
effing
they
rich, right? Anyway, so even if they were to rent, they will probably go for places like service apartments or some
landed.
town area, or not, they will just buy private property,
They probably
right? Why would
buy private property.
yeah? So the
Okay,
HDB is not.
actually it depends. It depends on how long they intend to stay in Singapore and whether they see
Wait, wait.
see
Tech
property
pass,
as an investment.
the 500 numbers is the first set in January, and the
First
tech
wave.
pass is valid for 2 years. 2 years. Then after that, you can renew again. So at the moment, it's 2 years, and most people will in these 2 years they'll just rent. Nobody's going to buy because if you buy, then
Yeah,
it's
correct. So they
people
will rent
remember.
at they will definitely rent those town area, CBD area. So they're not going to go for HDB at the, let's say, Woodlands. Nobody's going to rent a flat at
No, why
Woodlands.
not? Why not? Not flats. Okay, last time when I was working in oil and gas multinational companies, the US expats they rent landed properties in Woodlands, Marsiling, because they are
But where's the office? Was the office near north side or what?
no in Jurong. The reason is they want a landed because they are from the US. They're used to a landed. They want a landed.
Yeah, so they want a certain lifestyle.
They
as
want a
well.
certain lifestyle, and based on a certain lifestyle, the place that is good was in the north, the Marsiling area. Not town is too expensive, and it's too cramped. It doesn't have enough space.
Yes, but these are the expats. Now you're talking about the tech passes people. They are going to be of a different income bracket, right?
Yeah, of the income. But the thing is that there's a likelihood that they also go for landed.
Maybe
Which
they
means
can
that-
get landed in Tanglin.
We actually don't know that.
Yeah,
Okay. Anyway, the point is it is not enough to create demand. Okay, to raise the prices of property
Hmm.
at the moment, yes.
at the moment. Okay, and if our initiative to focus on tech continues, Okay, it just means that there's going to be less and less dependence on manpower, okay, on labor. Okay, and if we continue our thrust on tech, even though we have foreigners coming into Singapore to start businesses, their workforce really doesn't need to be here. Okay, they can be here, and Singapore is a perfect place to have an HQ because we have the infrastructure, okay, to support a remote workforce. Okay, so more and more, okay, the signs are there, okay, that we are not going to be boosting our population anytime soon. Okay, I could be wrong. Okay, but it just feels like that right now. Okay, and if people are investing in property, okay, I believe, okay, it's my belief, and I could be wrong again. Okay, is that is a belief, that is a prevalent belief that property will continue to appreciate because it has done so in the past, and people always look into the past to project into the future. Except that right now, okay, we cannot do that for very many things because the environment has changed so much. Okay, so
And just to be clear, we are talking about residential properties, right?
yes, but I believe that it will also spill over to commercial properties because if there's no workforce, there really isn't a need, okay, for commercial footprint as well.
Especially now, everybody's starting to work from home or continue to be working from home. So the foot traffic and all that at the usual CBD areas, town areas, is actually a lot less.
Yeah, so
And DBS is already declared. And DBS is already declared after whatever, when COVID is over, whatever. I mean, employers can work 40% from 40% of the time from home. And the other one is UOB, 2 days out of the 5 days can work from home. And HSBC just declared in Hong Kong, when they will come to Singapore, that people can choose to, I don't know how many percent of the time, work from home. And I mean, HSBC is working to cut their cost. It's one of their restructuring. They want to cut their cost, and they're giving this so that they can have
Less rental.
less office footprint. It's one of them.
So moving forward, actually, residential property may not be so viable, or it's okay. Let's just put it this way. So for the guys here, residential property would not be where you would want to invest in the future, personally.
At
Not
the
enough.
moment, until something change.
Yeah.
Yeah, for now lah, but looking at the current situation.
Looking at the
Yeah,
company,
yeah.
indicating at the moment.
And Mr. Futuristic cannot see anything. Okay, Mr. Futuristic usually sees a lot of things. Mr. Futuristic and Mr. Connectedness sees a lot of things. And at this point in time, Mr.
It's
Futuristic
blank.
cannot see that future, okay, where property prices are going to go up. Okay.
It doesn't
So-
mean that it will not. It's just that, for people who are putting their money into properties right now, have to be a little bit think a little bit harder before putting the money in.
No lah, that's why I say for the guys here, in the current situation, residential property investment is not something that we will go for. But of course, it's just us
I
lah.
mean, if you have money,
Anyway, I have no money to invest in residential property, so never
I
mind.
think if you have money and if you can afford to put a down payment on a 99-year leasehold private property,
Do something else with it.
there's a lot of big chunk of money that you're putting down.
I think
Can
we're
you
missing the big point here.
Huh?
The big point I think that people are missing is that we are missing is this. Property is an asset class. And it's just one vehicle, right? Depending on where you want to go,
Yeah.
it very much depends on your vehicle, right? For
Yes.
for example, use the example of the Indonesians. They want capital preservation. They just want to say, hey, I'm going to put, say, a couple of $1 million here. I don't expect it to move very much, but I want it to, just preserve that wealth. It doesn't have to fluctuate very much. It just remains roughly stable in a place like Singapore. I know
Very
roughly,
stable.
it won't move very much, but I know when I come back, it'll be there. Versus somebody who's a bit younger, a bit more aggressive and says, I want high capital growth, I'd probably go into something a bit more risky, a different vehicle. And so whether or not property is a good or a bad investment very much depends on your objectives.
If you put the money in that ETF, S&P 500 ETF is going to do better.
Absolutely. The Nasdaq did 64% in the past 2 years.
That's
64.
right, ETF. Go look for
No,
fast
not all
free
ETF, okay?
finance.
Not all ETF,
Yeah,
Yeah.
not all ETFs are good.
Not all ETF.
The thing is there is a lot of herd mentality going on. Okay,
People like
there's a lot of herd mentality going on based on an old belief.
And we all know beliefs are the hardest, one of the hardest
Yeah.
things to change. Yeah, even
And
if you know it here you feel differently. And investment, sadly, even though that shouldn't be the case, but a lot of people, they invest with emotions.
I mean, in the old days, it's true because Singapore was growing.
Yeah,
Singapore's
in the old days,
population was like 3 million people,
now new days, yeah.
and then it was growing like 3 plus, 4 plus, eventually go where we are now at 5.8 million. But it was increasing. It has been increasing. That's why the property prices can increase. But if you're going to pause now and say no more, Singapore, a lot of Singaporeans say no more. Singapore is too crowded. 5.8 million. You cannot go anymore. Cannot. If you go anymore, I'm going to vote you down. Okay, so we stuck at 5.8 million. So if that's the case, how are you going to? Who's going to buy the rest of the properties? I mean, okay, the locals can buy, and the overseas can buy, but then if there's no influx of people coming in, who are you going to rent it to? You're just going to ghost it, and if you ghost it, then it becomes not an asset; it becomes a liability.
You
Just
can
a
sit
paying
inside.
mortgage for nothing.
Again, it depends on the person's objective. If the rich
Yeah,
Indonesian
correct.
person says, "Now that's fine. I can support the mortgage. I can
The
support
spider
everything. I
webs,
just want,
I
you know,
can
it just
support."
stay there. That's fine." Because I've actually met people like that where they just say, "Okay, this property, I'm not gonna rent it out. I can support the mortgage payments. I'm fine. I just like it. I want to leave it there, preserve the capitals." Okay. I've met people like that, and there's nothing I can say to convince them because their objective is super, super clear. They know what they're doing with their money.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand if there are foreigners where their currency fluctuate like mad. But if you're in Singapore, you are Singaporeans buying, it doesn't really fluctuate. Even if the Singapore dollars fluctuate, it's still a Singapore dollar.
Ta-da.
Anyway, I think it is actually not too difficult because it's not actually not too difficult to look at the facts behind what's going on. Okay, in the market right now. Okay, if we look at the properties, the new properties are being launched, what's being taken up, okay, and assess where these numbers are coming from. Okay, we also know, okay, the outflow of foreigners versus the inflow, and right now the outflow is more than the inflow. And then if we match all the numbers, okay, without going into, I don't think we can do that right now. If we match all we just need to look beyond all the stories at the facts. Okay, at the end of the day, when we make financial decisions, take away all the emotion, take away all the beliefs, and then we look at the facts of the numbers. The numbers will tell us a certain thing. Okay, and it's just like all bubbles. Okay, if prices keep going up, okay, without the fundamental support, it's a game of musical chairs. Okay, we're just going to
Pass the
move
lease on
around
until somebody gets the ball.
yeah, except that in this case, the last person sitting on the chair may be in for a surprise.
Surprise!
So, yay, I won the chair, the final chair.
Here you go. Here is your money and your house gone. That's the surprise. So that's the 99-year Leasehold Saga. And yet so many Singaporeans okay, never mind lah. I think it's just a fact, 99 years. If you sign that, then you must be prepared that you must think about it in the sense that at the end of 99 years, you're going to have to give it up. So if you hold that thought, then I guess it's fine. Right.
But having said that, not all 99-year leasehold is going to go to zero value because there are
Yeah,
other
for
properties
sure. for sure.
Leasehold,
But it's a
yes.
gamble, right?
It's a gamble. They will be extended
Oh.
depending on the urban development. Okay, urban planning of the government, but the government is not going to release this to everybody. Not everybody will know because it affects property speculation. So it's not a public knowledge of what's going to happen. So everybody will just speculate long.
Hmm.
It's a risk.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the thing is, the thing is, if you are on the final seat, right? If you're on the final seat of the musical chair game, you know that it's a gamble. Okay, you know that there was no guarantee, and then you can't complain because you've played that game. Okay, ignorance is a choice. Okay, and 99 years, you know 99 years. If as every year passes, is 1 year less. Okay, and then when it comes to 99 years, you can say, "Oh, I didn't know." Okay, deal with it.
Oh, you signed it.
It's deal with it. Okay, it's not like it was an unknown thing that you surprised 99 years. It was not.
It's a gamble.
So it will go up, it will go down. There are fundamentals to consider. Okay, if we go with the herd, then just be prepared to deal with consequences as the herd. Okay, and I don't know. I think it's necessary to for people to actually ask questions about what's valid and what's not. Okay, and eating ignorance. Okay, 99 years. Okay, deal with it. I'm sorry. Okay, life sucks. But
Life doesn't suck. It doesn't have to suck. So it's like with all other investments, basically you have to go in with your eyes open. And if you sign the paper and it's 99-year-old and you signed it and let's say there's 30 years left, etc., then it's no longer a saga because you signed it and the fact is there's only 30 years left.
okay, and you want to bet, if you want to bet on making money from that, then it's a bet. Okay,
it's a gamble, like buying 4D like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I think we're more. Actually, you wanted to say something, is it?
Oh,
No, I just wanted to add on that the intention of buying needs to be very clear also. If you're buying a house to stay, then it's just a house to stay, and that's okay too.
You know, interesting, Rachel. That's how I advise all my families when they ask me about property. I'm like, if you're gonna buy a house and you're gonna stay in it, don't think about whether it's gonna appreciate in value or depreciate in value, because you're gonna be there. Now with lockdown, 90% of the time, if you're not happy in there, don't buy the house.
Yes, but also it depends on whether they are going to sell it after 5 years or not. You know, if it's a BTO, so there's the intention. Also,
yeah, that's exactly what you mean. You want to stay in there for a long time, or you buy so that you
short
want
time.
to sell it after 5 years. It's a different story.
Exactly.
If you buy it so that you can sell it after 5 years, then the intention is totally different. You are trying to make
It
money
becomes
out.
an investment.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a different story.
I see a lot of people have this thinking, a lot of young couples I work with, they have this thinking, oh, I'll just buy a BTO in 5 years, I'll sell it. Not realizing, number one, the first thing is if property prices increase, everything else is going to increase together.
Yes.
One. It means you're trading one for another. In either way, you're going to take a bigger loan, and the cycle never ends, number one. Number two, especially for young couples, when they start planning for a family, once they have the first kid, they're like, oh my God, it's such a chore to move to a different house. I'm so comfortable with this place already. You know, I've got everything set up nicely. And usually we see statistically in the first 5 years, people have 2 kids. Then there's like, oh my God, then I have to sell. I'm not happy in this place, all the different reasons start coming out. And that leads to a lot of unmet expectations, a lot of unhappiness, a lot of arguments. I've seen couples, you told us to buy this house, what? You know, you say you want to sell, and now we cannot sell, blah, 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 and so on and so on and so on. And so, which is why I advise young couples, when you're looking for a house, if it's someplace to stay, make sure you love it. Don't think about price. Of course, affordability is one, but don't think about, oh, I'm going to sell it later on, because the moment you step in from work, it's your castle, it's your safe space. You're going to feel, all the weight of the stress falls away. And that's exactly how I feel about my place. And ever since the lockdown in March until now, we've been at home 90% of the time, even with
You
phase
have
2.
remained sane.
I have been so grateful to the universe, to
Oh,
Great
no.
Spirit, to everything for letting me have this place. It's a space for my kids to grow. It's a space where I'm happy. I can literally roll around on the floor and still not touch the walls. I can entertain people. I have my whole little home office. I'm super, super happy. Some people tell me, oh, you overpaid for a house. Some people tell me, oh, it's not a good location. Whatever. The fact is, I am extremely grateful and happy to be here in this place.
Yeah, because when you bought it, you had a very clear intention of what you are going to do with it.
Exactly.
And yeah, I totally agree with Afik, you know. Your house, your home is supposed to be your sanctuary. You're not supposed to like use it as a place like to trade it and do this and then what you're
Oh
just
no! Oh no!
it's like
Then we
trading
need to
your
tell
life,
Wen Kai this.
trading 5 years of your life away. It's like I don't mind buying this place because I think it's going to appreciate because it's in a certain location. I can't afford, but I'll still pool money to what I don't mind
No
eating
man.
bread every day and don't enjoy life and give up 5 years of my life just to eat bread every day so that I can afford this place. Some people, I have known people who've done that in the past during certain time, just
Did
to
it work
invest.
out for them? I'm just curious.
I don't know. It's actually I've known people. My friend's friend who told me he said he was rolling his eyes because he was telling me the story. And I was like, I I don't feel for that person because I don't know that person. It's my friend's friend. But then again, the other thing I will say with respect to what Afik was saying is that somebody can tell you it's not a good location, is you overpaid for it. Yeah, but hey, who's valuing the place? I'm living in it. I value it differently. You're not living in it. You have your own way of valuing it. You can say whatever you want, but you're not staying in it.
Yeah, so it's value versus price.
Yeah.
I gotta say, the
Maybe
value
we'll talk about that in our next.
much, much higher than the price I paid. Absolutely.
Yeah, but I think like I say, at the end it's intentional. If you are buying it for staying purposes, you will probably look at the location in terms of accessibility to things that you want, the environment for your kids and all that. Also, schools nearby, that kind of thing, lah. Right? Yeah, all
I
this.
walk to my kids' school. I have the privilege of sending them to school and picking them up every day. It's a 5-minute walk. I love it.
Yeah. So you will look at stuff like, but if you're buying it to rent, you're buying it to sell later on and not stay in it, then it's a different story. Okay, I think we are about done for today. Is it last words time?
Is there any questions from people?
No.
No,
There
just
are
a
only
few,
comments.
just a few comments. Yeah.
Yeah, they're correcting us. Yeah, I think Angela has a point. Yeah, where the American school is. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I think a lot of the American expats, yeah, they chose that because it's nearer to the American school. Yeah, I forgot the
It's for
American
their
school.
kids lah. Yeah, it's for their kids.
Yeah.
Hello. Wrong information. Ignorance is a choice. Thanks, Angela, for saving us. Okay, is it last words time? Okay, I don't like.
Oh no, it's time to die.
We will die and we will get reborn again 2 weeks later. Maybe next session we will talk about value versus price. You guys can let us know if you want us to talk about something or if you have issues about certain money issues that you would like our assorted advice from, assorted experiences from, then please let us know also. And that's my last words. Chungho, you have last words?
Yeah. If you're looking at property in a way is a kind of investment vehicle that people look at. You can always look at alternative investment vehicle. You don't have to be stuck with property because look at the fundamentals and see whether the property as a class of investment is over the next few years is going to increase. If the fundamental doesn't support it, you can always take your money and look at some other investment vehicle. It will support that. And you just have to decide which one works out better for you for the intention that you want. You don't have to stick with property. But if you do want to stick with property, you are comfortable with property, you understand only property, that's fair. Okay. But just go in with your eyes open. And that's all.
Okay, that's Chunho's last words. Douglas, last words.
I think this conversation is actually far more complex and or the underlying principles are far more complex than we actually presented during the last 45 minutes or so, and it's really impossible to cover everything, to actually have that entire conversation in 45 minutes. But to me, at the end of the day, the most important thing for anyone to be able to have is an ability to create financial resilience. Okay, and that's the phrase I will use: financial resilience, regardless of whatever's happening out there, regardless of whatever's happening in the economy, in the world. Financial resilience is our ability to earn an income in a sustainable, enduring way that will give us everything that we need and maybe some that we want. Yeah. So the thing is, it's not being stuck with one investment or one tool, because property is just a tool, but having really a repertoire of means to generate that income in a meaningful way that is sustainable in the long term as well. Okay, and I think that really is the true spirit of the conversation that I feel we need to get to. Yeah. So today is one of the conversations. It's not the conversation, and there's just more to come, and we'll talk about that in the weeks in the coming conversations that we'll have.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you, Douglas. I think it's Afik's time. Just nice. The shelter, the little monster has left.
The minion.
Afik's last words time.
So, okay, when it comes to last words, I would say be open to looking at the greater world of investments. We work hard. Douglas mentioned, financial resilience. Chunho mentioned, look at alternatives, but be open to changing the beliefs, because way too often I personally carry the beliefs from my parents, passed down. They pass down, and it forms and shapes my worldview. And then something comes along and shakes that worldview. It's whether I'm strong enough to say, okay, let's shift the worldview a little bit, or put blinders on and say, nope, I don't want to know. And so being able to shift that worldview from the perspective of investors, like we know it's money growing money, right? And there are many, many ways to do it at each of the different stages. And so having the ability to open up the worldview when it is being shaken or shook. That's it for me.
Okay, then it's Rachel's last words time.
Okay, for me is to when you're thinking about putting your money for investment or anything with regards to money, be very, very clear about your intention, about the why you're doing it in the first place. That's one. And the second thing is to then remember what the intention is. Because many, many years later, you may forget your initial intention of why you're doing it in the first place, and then get caught up with the crowd or everything else, with the hype and everything else, and then you forget why you're doing it in the first place. Yeah.
Okay, now you type your own last word, okay?
So clever. Yeah, I have to remember what I said.
By the way, I can add something to what Rachel just said.
Chinese, we say, remember your 初心, your initial.
Oh, is that 初心? Oh.
Yeah.
I
初
guess
as in, huh?
I just want to add something. Actually, what Rachel says is a universal principle or use.
Universal truth. Universal Studios.
No, universal
truth?
Universal guidance or whatever, because that's happened to a lot of people. The initial intention when they got a job, they always forget halfway through during their career, they got lost in their career, and they don't know why they even got into that job. Okay, they get lost in the money game.
I think some people already
Or the
got
power
lost in
game.
the game at the start. Okay, that's
Or the power game. Sometimes
Yeah.
people get sucked into that. Okay, that's great. Lovely last words. Rachel, you finished typing your own last words already now.
Form into complete sentence that makes sense.
Maybe I should be the one that's typing it. Yeah, so anyway, but the thing that Rachel said is not just for investment. Is I think it applies to a lot of things as well. Sometimes when you know the TV shows where they show this young aspiring policeman join the force for aspirations, want to make the world a better place, and then slowly after 10-15 years he gets jaded, and then after that he gets bribed, then the drama starts, right? So it's a bit like that, I guess, with the initial, with your
Yeah.
initial
It's called-
initial intention in mind.
it's called prostituting your dreams.
Yes, that's true. But a lot of times people don't even realize, they just like little bit they lose it. It's like going slowly into a dream. Okay, so Rachel has finished typing.
Yeah.
Yay! Alright, I think we're done for today. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. Angela, Yun Chuan, Desmond, who always watch us. Ouch my money, ouch your money, ouch your money, etc. Catch us again in 2 weeks' time. And then we will talk more about money related matters. So now we are signing out. The ouchies are signing out.